Great. Hi, everyone joining here. My name is Ashish. I am the lead at 100 Days of Feature Requests by powered by Savo Labs. We are currently in our fifth cohort, ShopConnect, right? Who basically is enabling live video e-commerce out there, right? So their product was really amazing 2 days back when did the kickoff, and I'm sure a lot of contributors and participants here are already working on the feature requests, and I'm very excited to see on 23rd, all the feature requests coming in, from you guys, right? So today we are here to pretty much dwell upon a lot of things around, why live video commerce, what's the future, right? Why is this the future of commerce? So we have Anil, who heads the strategy and domain at ShopConnect.live with us. Hey Anil, thank you so much for making it today.
Hi Ashish. Yeah, thanks for giving this opportunity as well.
Amazing. So, Anil, why don't you again maybe introduce to people what have you done before, right?
Mhm.
And then definitely the stage is yours today to do little bit speak more about the industry, the domain, what's
Mhm.
going on right now, what's the future, right?
Mhm.
And also how are you tapping into different markets, right? Would be really great to understand from a business level and a product strategy level
Mhm.
around that front. So I'll let you give your intro.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ashish. First of all, thanks everyone. So my name is Anil Kanchi. You can call me Anil, and I come from a very rich retail background. So for the last 20 to 23 years, I've been working in retail space primarily with the very large enterprises across the geographies. So, some of the premier clients include like a Walmart, Target, Marks and Spencer, Woolworths. So I've been engaged in a very large transform engagements with this large corporations. Okay. Well, right now I'm part of Shop Connect team, which is the company name is Envipani, right? But the product that we're all working on is called Shop Connect, which primarily focuses on the live video commerce. That's the topic for today as well, which is a very exciting, product. And also, it is what I would say is that it's a future product. Okay. So what it means is that we are in a very early growth stage. As an industry, we are in an early growth stage for this concept. But we definitely have that vision of where it is heading and then why it will make a big impact to the society and then economy, right? That's what we're going to talk about it. That's pretty much about myself. So I can get into I can share my screen and get into, I have few slides to share and then, talk about it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
isn't it? So I think Ashish, so I'm gonna take maybe 30 minutes and talking and then finish it and then we'll take more questions also. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah.
So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. You can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Today, what we're going to talk about is more on the live video commerce, which is the future commerce, what we call it as it's a future of. So, if you guys have been, rewind yourself, 20 years back, 30 years back, and all that. So the business exists. Okay, when we talk about business, it's more of brick and mortar kind of a stores, the physical stores that exist today, right? Is the business. You want to buy something, you just go to any of the store and buy. Okay, but I think the turnaround is from Amazon. So when Amazon started with the books and then later on with a lot more merchandise, that's when people started realizing that online business is going to be very important, and then it can change the game. Okay, it will change the game in terms of how people can buy the goods, right? And from there, if you look at the evolution, Look at the Netflix kind of the world, right? Netflix started, what used to be like, buying and renting of what do you call video cassettes. If I remember very well in my age, right? Okay, we used to go and borrow or rent out this video cassettes to watch any movie at home, right? And then later on it moved into the what you call CDs and DVD players and all of that. But Netflix has changed that game in terms of how it can be, streaming of movies or episodes or anything in watching it from their home. That's how the industry has been moving, right? So keeping that in mind, okay, this live video commerce is going to be in that path. When we say that is in the path, tomorrow that becomes like a commodity, right? Maybe fast forward 5 years from now, every single online vendor will be venturing into live video commerce, without which they're not in the game. Okay, that's how we are looking at it. So let's look at few concepts, right? Let's understand what is the live video commerce first. Okay, so you guys, everybody understands what is the brick and mortar model, the physical stores where you go and buy the stuff. I think everybody is clear about it. Two, online commerce, right? Online shopping. So the best example is Amazon. Anybody can go into Amazon website and then start exploring the merchandise. They can add to the cart and check out, and someone will come and deliver it to you the goods. Okay, so that's pretty much the online business. Okay, now let's understand what is the video commerce. So the physical stores is where you are going physically and buying it, and then online stores is that without any assistance from a salesperson, you are exploring the merchandise on yourself and then buying it for yourself, right? Now when it comes to a live video commerce, it is a combination of these two. Okay, so when I say the combination of these two, there's still a physical, not the physical store, but a virtual store is involved in it, and a live, a sales expert, or if a personal stylist also is involved in it. And at the same time, you are trying to do this from your home or at your comfort zone, from your laptop or from your phone or any of your devices, electronic gadgets, right? This is what you're trying to do. So what it means is that, can I get connected to a virtual store and talk to a live human, right? It's more of a humanizing touch. Can I talk to a human and interact with the human and see the product in live? Of course, I'm not doing a touch and feel of it, but I can still at least see the product in live, right? I can not just the images part of it. I can see the product in live and talk to an expert, get all my questions clarified, and then make a decision on the buying. When I make a decision, will I be able to seamlessly add that item to the cart and check out, and then all that e-commerce part is taken care, is what we call as a live video commerce. So in a live video commerce, there is a human involved in it, at least for now. The future can be a little bit robots can be there, but for now understand that there is a human touch involved in it, and you're interacting in a live. Okay, and you're seeing the product in live, and then you'll have the ability to check out and do the commerce basically. Okay, you can actually add to the item to the cart and check out. That's what we mean by a live video commerce, right? Okay, second thing, you must have seen okay, please excuse me for if you find any typo errors and all that. Okay, so but let's understand the difference between a live streaming versus, you guys must have seen this live streaming versus one on personalized video calls. Okay, let's understand what is the difference between these two. The live streaming, China has actually power, what do you call, mastered in this concept. Okay, the China model, if you look at it right today, live streaming is an entertainment business today. Okay, so forget about even commerce part of it, it is an entertainment by itself. So they have minted like a billions of dollars just through this live streaming concept. Okay, there are hundreds of apps that exist today, just like your FM radio, right? Okay, just like your FM radio or like your TV channels, there are hundreds of live streaming vendors. Okay, so who will be continuously streaming their stuff. So more than for buying purpose, the consumers in China use the live streaming models for more for an enjoyment. Okay, just the way you watch the TV, just the way you watch, listen to the FM radio. Okay, So similarly, they go through this live streamings for the enjoyment. Even the person on the other side, the job is to continuously, engage the customers with a very exciting stuff and exciting talk and jokes and all that. But of course, in the process, they'll also try to sell a merchandise. Okay, the main objective is to sell the merchandise, but the rest of it is to engage the customers and then hold the customers in that conversation, right? So it has become for a consumer, it has become an enjoyable experience. At the same time, for retailer or the guy who's actually live streaming, it's a business. Okay, they're trying to sell and promote a product. Okay, and in this case, a lot of influencers will be involved in it, and they'll try to make a big deal in terms of crack the deals when the new product is being launched and stuff like that. Okay, now let's understand what versus what is a one-on-one personalized video calls. While that live streaming is happening, you are like, if someone is talking, they are not talking to you, they're just blabbering. You're just watching. It's just like a video. You're just watching a video, and there is no uh, one-on-one personalization. But trust me, for many of the premium brands, and especially when it comes to expensive items, okay, you would need, or for an items where there are a lot of questions, okay, that needs to be addressed. You can't just buy it just like that, right? Okay, you need that hyper personalization through one-on-one personalized video calls. So what it means is that you need to have a human on the other side who will be helping you in making the decision for you. Okay, and helping you with all the questions addressed, and showcasing the product, and giving you all more insights about the product, and then showcasing you more curated collections, right? So it will be more of a one-on-one personalized video calls, which gives what we call as an hyper personalization for the end consumer. The difference is that the person is not still in the store, the end consumer is not at the store, but the end consumer is technically connected to a salesperson in live and talking to you on a one-on-one one personalized video calls. Okay, that's a difference between live streaming versus personalized video calls, right? Now let's talk about an interesting concept called dark store. A dark store is a store which is laid out in the format of a physical store, the same store, right? Like wherever you walk into a store, but it is not accessible to the end customers. Okay, it is laid out. So this dark store concept exists for a while, but it existed for a different reasons. Okay, but now given the pandemic and with the live video commerce evolving, dark stores are also coming into the picture. What happens? What happens in a dark store concept is that, so imagine in the case of a B2B, right? So I'll give you an example of what happens in a B2B for an American market, okay, US market. Right? In the US market, what happens is that all these wholesalers and brand owners, they will come up with the latest collections every season. Okay, let's say there are 5 4 5 seasons that they call out. In each season, they'll come up with like 200 300 new styles, and then those styles they will try to present it to their vendors. Okay, so which are primarily the retailers like a Macy's, Amazon, or Nordstrom, or Walmart. So all for a big retailers, they will try to present their latest collections and try to push that collections to be available in their stores. Okay, while this is happening, and the way that entire merchandise planning happens is that these guys will bring in that samples into the US. They'll conduct a trade shows, physical trade shows like exhibitions, and in the trade shows they will have a stall, where in the stall they will physically lay out all their physical merchandise. Okay, and the buyers or the merchandisers from these departmental stores will come to those trade exhibitions. They will come, visit those stalls, look at the merchandise, take the notes, and they go away. And later on, what these guys does, they will give a complete set of samples. If they have like a 200 collections, they give that 200 collection as one sample set and send it to these departmental stores. Offline, they will review it, and then take a decision which styles they need to buy and how many of them they need to buy. That used to be the process. Now look at the what pandemic has done. Given the pandemic situation, all these trade exhibitions are cancelled, right? All the trade exhibitions are cancelled. Now even the wholesalers and brand owners have realized that they need to depend on digital data heavily. Okay, so while they are depending on the digital data, so imagine now there is no one-on-one physical talking happening there, but uh, can they get connected virtually? Okay, can they get connected virtually? Yes, they can get connected virtually and expose the merchandise, right? So what it means is that a person in New York sitting at home or from their store is talking to someone from a Macy's and then showcasing a merchandise, but that is not adding much value to them, and it is still expensive. Look at the how much cost it is causing them, even though they are not physically going and selling it to the merchandise. Now this is where the dark store concept has evolved. Okay, imagine what if I set up a store or a very fantastic studio in India. Okay, I set up a fantastic and then bring all those samples from China, India, Vietnam, wherever it is getting manufactured. Bring only those samples to this dark store or a dark studio, and then use the live video commerce to impress the B2B customer. Okay, so how does it matters? A salesperson is in India in a live studio, in a live video is demonstrating the product, and a what do you call a designer from US, okay, from that company, can be actually articulating about that product and what is the inspiration about that product, and the customer or the buyer who's sitting in a totally different location is going through all this merchandise and making a decision on this, and all three of them are collaborating for finalizing on what item needs to be purchased and how much has to be purchased. Okay, so here what is happening is that some of our clients, okay, if I have to tell you that they have a physical store, or they call a physical store, what do you call mm, there's a right word, okay, I missed. Okay, they have a store, imagine that. Okay, that costs them like $1 million in a year in a New York. Okay, if you have to have a nice setup in New York, it costs them $1 million. But imagine that if they set up the same thing in Tirupati, or maybe even in Bangalore, or maybe near to Noida, with a few hundred $1,000, they can have a much bigger studio and more elegant studio. Okay, even the labor cost is also a little inexpensive, right? So that they'll do a very good job of through this live video calls, right? So that is what we meant by the dark store and how it will really help some of these customers. Now let us talk about the last concept before I can talk about how this product will look like. Okay, a dark store as a service. Let's understand a dark store as a service. Okay, if you guys imagine that, if you go back to 20 years back, right? Okay, there is a big buzz on the BPO. Okay, business process outsourcing, right? BPO is a big buzz. India has made tons of money just because of the capability that we are able to enable and then deliver it to this BPO market, right? And the BPO as a service has done a fantastic job, and then it has contributed significantly to the economy also. In a similar concept, you understand how a dark store as a service can be enabled, right? So when the technology is evolving, especially with this live video commerce, think that in India, just like a BPO, I can enable the competency industry network with the 5G coming into the picture. Okay, I can set up a studio. Okay, maybe in a remote place with a 5G connection, I can set up a nice, beautifully laid out like a 10,000 square feet studio for one of our customers, and then get all the samples for every season into this studio, and demonstrate the product from here to across the globe, whether the customer is in London, or whether the customer is in France, or whether the customer is in Italy or US, doesn't matter. So all that demonstrating of a product can happen from India. Okay, so unlike what a trade shows used to do it, now you don't need any trade show. You just need a virtual studio. Okay, that virtual studio could be from India, or it could be from any of the developing countries for that matter, right? So India, because it's our interest. Okay, imagine that in India, if I have a dark store and then I promote that product, and Now, the difference between point number 3 and 4 is that point number 3, I just explained the concept. Point number 4 is that this can evolve as a service. That means that not one person who is doing it, right? There will be many more people who will be dying. There will be like hundreds of companies that will come up who will be in this business of a dark store as a service, right? I think this is how our thinking is, going, and this is where the future and the trends are moving in. Maybe trust me, from 5 years from now, you will not be surprised to see this dark store as a service as like a very stable service that is available in the market. Okay. So now let me move on to go give you quick glimpse of what is this live video commerce solution will look like, and then what does it mean to the end consumer. Okay. So let's say first part is, how do you get connected to the salesperson? Okay, the first part. Okay, customer is there, and how does a end consumer get connected to a salesperson or a sales expert or a fashion designer, or it could be personal stylist, whatever the name you can give it. Okay, first is an establishing it a connection. Right now, we can talk about various ways it can be get connected. Let's talk about first thing. Okay, so assume that the client or the e-commerce owner or the retailer has a website. Okay, on their website, imagine that a widget is available, just like this widget on the bottom right corner. You have a widget available. So as an end customer, you are gone into that website and you are exploring the merchandise. You see this widget and you just click on that widget, and in like a few seconds you get connected to the sales expert in live. Okay, you get connected to a sales expert in live, so that the sales expert is now showcasing you the merchandise and talking to you and addressing your questions. So what it means is that this is a one very interesting capability where it gives you a personalized experience and also get connected to a salesperson like instantly. Okay, that's one. Second thing is, can it be done through an appointment? Okay, some of the clients may think that, oh, instant video connect can be very challenging for our sales team or designers. We may be very busy. Okay, I will take up only through appointments. Okay, in that case, the customer should be able to book an appointment, prior appointment, just like your doctor appointment. You book an appointment with the online virtual shopping, and then at that particular date and time you join into the meeting and go through that buying experience. Okay, that's a second option. Third option is that a hybrid. Okay, so you try to connect instantly, but you are not able to get to any sales expert, but then you get an option of book an appointment for a future date or a future time. Okay, that can be in a hybrid mode. One more option that we have not listed here and then can potentially be there is there, callback option, just like that. Okay, even in your technical customer service you have a callback option. What if I am not able to get connected to a salesperson now, but I just provide my details, like, my name, email ID, and phone number, and what are my preferences, and then even I could give a voice recording also, right? I can give a voice recording using which the salesperson understands your needs and calls you back when the salesperson is available. Maybe it could be in 10 minutes later, or it could be 15 minutes later. So the salesperson is calling you back, and both customer and salesperson or the sales expert is in connected in a live video call. And the rest of the things, the following slides will tell you how does it happen. Okay, so this is how a live video connect can happen, right? These are the various ways which it can happen. Now let's move on. What happens in a live video call? Okay, in a live video call, uh, so in a live video call, so understand that, uh, you have got connected with the salesperson and the customers, and both of them are get connected in one place. Okay, now what are the few options that you can look at it? First thing is that, we are talking about, you need to make sure that when I'm talking about, the retailer, the whatever the video that you're streaming will be in a high definition. Okay, number one. And it should give a very personalized experience for both buyers as well as for the salespeople. So for the salespeople also, it's very important that the right tools are available wherein they can give an excellent experience to the buyers. Okay, few options. Screen share is a basic thing that we all understand. Right now I've just shared my screen, and then everybody similar concepts. And then recording is an important thing, but it has to be with the consent from a buyer. If the buyer is fine, you can record it. It is for quality purposes, and then tomorrow if the manager wants to review how the salesperson is actually selling, and it can be for their betterment and improvements and all that. Okay, recording. So apart from this, let's talk about two important capabilities that will make a big difference. Okay, first capability is that the user chat. So you must be thinking that what's a big deal about chat, right? Okay, but a chat with the capability to provide features like sharing the media files. Okay, it could be just sharing in a photo, or it could be sharing an image, or it could be sharing in a video, will make a big difference. Either you may have a catalog, or you may not have a catalog. Right now you're demonstrating, let us say, this chair. Okay, so that guy wants to see that in more closer. The customer might ask, can you give me a pics? You just click the pics and then send it um, to the customer, so that the customer will start checking those pictures, right? While seeing the product in live, they can check the pictures also. If there are any videos, they can check the videos. This is going to be a very powerful capability. Other capabilities are like shop party. So wherein it is very important that when you're buying, is it possible that you can buy it along with your family and friends? Can I bring in my family and friends together? I can do a shopping. Okay, that's also going to be a very interesting capability, right? Because this is not about just about a video commerce, right? This is not about just a video connect. It is all about what do you call immersive shopping experience. Okay, let's move on. Let's understand now. You got connected in a live video call, all fine. Is there a way that you can have more interactive shopping rather than just seeing a product in live? Yes, that can also be a potentially very very interesting thought process. So, what if we can give like very interactive catalogs, or lookbooks, or it could be videos, say the various formats in which we can give that interactive material for the consumer to interact, rather than just seeing it on someone else's screen. They can interact and at the same time see the product in live. And that's where it is going to make a big difference. And also, based on the customer needs, if the salesperson can curate the collection on the fly and then provide the details, it's going to make a big difference, because that's how you are going to give a personalized experience, right? So it's all about a personalization. Okay, the salesperson give a very good personalization by providing a curated collection, or the needs, addressing the needs, exact needs, rather than dumping the entire content, right? And at the same time, it makes sure that it is very interactive and very engaging experience, so that the customer is delighted, and end up actually adding it to a cart and check out. Okay, so product details is just like in any e-commerce, like once they like a product, will they be able to go through the product? And if there are any 360s, they can check the 360s, and they can still see the product in live video. They can check the color variants. I don't need to talk much about it. It's a typical e-commerce stuff, wherein they will be able to like a product and then add to the cart, right? So then moving on to the checkout. So the checkout has to be like a seamless experience. So these days, like people do not have patience. If you try to bring in too many applications and too many disruptions in the flow, customers will not like. They like a very seamless, instant, seamless experience. So I like something, can I add to cart and check out now and done? So that's how it should be, like the ability to add to the cart then and there itself, and should be able to check it out. Okay. So what it means is that a customer journey is starting from a website, or by the prior appointment, got into a video call. They're talking to each other, seeing the product, bring their family and friends, and the salesperson bring in their manager, and they have a very interactive conversation, address the customer needs, and then start curating the collections and publishing the collections, and more interactive discussions, and then digital interactions are happening. And whatever you like it, add to the cart and check out. So what it means is that in a 30 minutes of video call or 1 hour video call, you have a fantastic buying and selling experience, and the outcome is that a few bunch of items have been added to the cart and you checked out. Okay, so that both the customer as well as the salesperson is happy with their end-to-end process. Okay, so that's pretty much is the thought process on what a live video commerce could be. And there can be many more variations to it, and then it can be potentially grown into a mainstream product for a lot of e-commerce. Okay, I think that's pretty much from my side, and I will stop here and then start taking the questions.
Sure. For all of you who are joining here, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. We can get you on the stage. I think today is like pretty clear everything what they've come for. Okay, Anil, what we'll do is since we have no questions come on, we'll end this session
Okay.
uh, and we'll take any questions in our Slack channel as usual, right? For
Hmm.
people.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, anyways, you made it. Oh, okay. We have Vinayak. Yeah, Vinayak, you can ask a question.
You can you hear me? Hi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hi, Nel. Thank you so much for doing this. Honestly, there are certain things I didn't really know about, especially the dark source concept. So thank you for sharing that with
Yep.
us.
Hmm.
Um, so my question was, one thing is that have you, I mean, have this been tried with certain stores,
Hmm.
and have you seen a good conversion rate on this?
Yes.
The reason why I'm okay, because the reason why I'm because I was when I was exploring the site today,
Hmm.
and specifically when the virtual store.
Hmm.
Uh, so I, as a user, I although I totally get the point that in the next 5 years when the bandwidth will be like really easily available, and if AR and VR will be a more mainstream thing, the experience would be like phenomenal. But
Hmm.
considering the current situations now, although the idea sounds really awesome, but the experience I was thinking of getting it, I didn't really find that. So, do you think that considering the present circumstances, the aim that we have, like enhancing the customer experience by a huge margin? I'm not talking about the interactive sales call though. I'm just
Hmm.
talking about just one by one. I'll go. The
Hmm.
first part that the virtual stores, the experience that you are trying to cater to the audience,
Hmm.
you will be able to achieve that.
Okay. So, couple of things here. So, where are you from, Vinay?
I'm
Which
from Delhi.
you are New Delhi. So, when you say that you have some bandwidth issues with the virtual experience, okay, let me call that out. Okay. Uh,
I mean, not really exactly bandwidth, but see, this is a desktop site, right? So if it
No,
will,
no, you can experience that in mobile also. So so what I would suggest is that if any of the links that were shared with you earlier, right? So please try to get that into your mobile and then experience it from your mobile and just take a 4G data. Okay,
Mhm.
so don't even think that you will take it from your broadband. Try to experience it from your 4G and tell me how does it will translate into. Okay, it's actually, see, we what we do is that we don't dump with like too much of volume, right? So all that experience is optimized. When I say optimized, we make sure that it gets loaded quickly and it gets access to the customer like a seamlessly. Number one. Number two is that that's what we have been doing it. Okay, see, most of the times when I get from any of my associates a link, I check it on 4G to make sure that it's all fine, right? That's we are working towards that. Number one. Number two is that if you try to access it from your broadband connections, the experience will be really good. So you don't find any lag anywhere. Number two. Number three, these experiences are primarily meant for beyond India. What, imagine that we are not just talking about Indian market alone, right? So you go to us, the broadband connections, and you go to London or go to UK or Europe, anywhere in those places the broadband connections, then they're like extremely good. You will not feel any lag anywhere. Okay, whether it's a video, In fact, you can have a video with a virtual tour experience both together. Even still it will be like a seamless experience. Okay, but yes, you have a valid question. We need to definitely keep in mind some of this logistics or the technical limitations that what we have, but we'll get through that. See, we are talking about we're already into 4G, 5G is coming in. Okay, and then even see for the last what 2 years now, almost 2 years, that we're all, because of pandemic, we're all working remotely, right? And then still able to make the job done with just the broadband connection you have. Hmm. Okay. I Valid question. We have constantly keeping in mind how do we optimize so that it gets accessible by even somebody who's accessing it from a village. Okay, that's our objective. But at the same time, today I don't see that is as a challenge for someone who has a 4G. Okay, clean 4G data.
Mhm.
As long as you have a 4G data, that's good enough qualifier for that to experience in a very nice way.
Okay, great. And the second question that I had was, when you are talking about like those sales calls,
Hmm.
again, I honestly don't know about the audience which is there, like in the global audience. But from an Indian perspective, I was trying to analyze
Hmm.
that. Do you think that the audiences are comfortable in doing video calls, and just per se, because like you shared, like live streaming came before the one-on-one personalized video calls, and live sharing streaming is like really famous in China. I mean, I think Misho, there was also one problem statement with Misho. They were also like comparing between what they could add.
Hmm.
But my question is that, do you think an Indian audience would be comfortable? Because I think this is where the enhanced like enrichment like totally booms, right? Because they can see the live product. But
Hmm.
do you think that this might be like for us a value added feature, which
Okay, so let's talk about some statistics which may be helpful to you, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
See, in for any product, okay, there is a product life cycle, right? So you have an early adaptation, and then you have a growth stage, and then stable and decline, right?
Hmm.
So for this concept, you understand that it is an early adaptation.
Right.
Okay. Have you ever imagined that? Okay, you can pay money to a cart, a vendor through from your phone before? Okay, maybe 3 years before or 4 years before. Have
Yeah.
you ever imagined that you will be able to pay money to someone like a vegetable vendor from your phone? I don't think so, right? You would
Yeah.
have never even imagined. Today, every card vendor is having a phone pay. Okay, phone pay, Google Pay are same thing. Okay, and then you are able to. I don't even keep the cash. Okay, everything is a phone pay. If you have a mobile, you can pay. You never imagined that this could happen, right?
Right.
So what it means is the adaptation. Okay, your point is more of, can Indian consumer adapt it? Is your question? Okay,
Right.
I'm trying to bring in analogy says that if digital payments can be accepted, why can't this be accepted? Number one.
Hmm.
Number two. So when during the pandemic, Titan, okay, made 100 crores of business only through video calling.
Wow.
Okay, that's number two. Number three, some of the customers that we have been talking to, right? Uh, One customer in Mumbai, okay, he makes 20 lakhs of business only through video calling per month. Small vendor,
Hmm.
okay. So it is about how you are promoting also. And in fact, during the pandemic, what happened? I don't know whether you have observed or not. There are lots of WhatsApp businesses have started. What it
Yeah.
means is that you can connect through a WhatsApp video calling and then provide that service. Concept is same. What we are giving is a sophistication. What WhatsApp is giving you is a basic version,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So the WhatsApp. So now look at, right, wave one. We are done with the wave one, wave two, wave three. Tomorrow we don't know Omicron or something will come. People are like a little worried. People are little worried, and then the people are don't want to go to the physical stores and then interact, right? But at the same time, you wanted to make a better decision making, so you're forced. Just the way that I'm talking about a digital payments, right? When the situations force you, there will be a paradigm shift in the way the consumer behavior is going to be. Okay,
Right.
so this live commerce, if pandemic is not there, let's talk about a pandemic, with pandemic, without pandemic. If pandemic is not there, would have been not there, right? then the adaption of this would have been little slower. It will still be there. That concept will still will be there, but the adaption will be little slower.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic has added like a catalyst. Now that being the catalyst, there is a better change in the mindset of the people. Okay, take it me. Okay, I'm not sure whether you have kids or not. Okay, I'll tell you my simple example with my kids. So whenever before pandemic, right? Whenever there is a problem at the school, there is a band. Okay, there is no school, right? All in my ages and everything. But nowadays there is not the concept. And the pandemic started, so all these online classes have started. No teacher from a physical store, physical school, don't know how to teach it in online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward 1.5 year, now everybody became an expert in how to teach it in online. Situations have forced them to do it. Now kids know how to take lessons from online, and teachers know how to teach it in online. And today if there is a band, nobody cares. Okay, oh okay, band, nobody will go to school physically, but there is an online class. Okay, recently
Yeah.
we have a floods in my place, so the roads are damaged. There is no school, you cannot go to school physically. No problem, online classes. There's an adaptation, nobody challenged.
Right.
So the point I'm trying to bring in is that your question was more of adaptation, right? Will Indian market will be able to adapt this kind of a solutions? Answer is yes. Okay, and the pandemic has helped to push a little bit more into adapting this kind of a solutions. Okay,
Awesome. Great. And one last question, if I may.
yeah.
Regarding the video call, like I was just thinking from a scalability point of view.
Hmm.
So what if like some of the features that you said, that appointment and all those things,
Hmm.
but you also compared with the appointments that we take sometimes with the doctor. But
Hmm.
do you think that those these two things can be comparable? And I mean, because what if there are like many users and they want to approach? I mean, what would be the front end side of the salesperson who would be handling so many calls? And do you think that if appointments are introduced, there will be people like doing those appointments? I was just thinking from a user perspective.
So two perspectives. You look at it. From a consumer point of view, appointments is not a from a retailer point of view. If somebody books an appointment, the chances of the customer joining into that meeting is only 50%. Okay, so
Hmm.
as a customer, you go and you are excited. So you are doing some some browsing through. You like something and you book an appointment for tomorrow. Let us say 10 a.m. Right?
Hmm.
You may get some important work tomorrow 10 a.m., or you may have an important meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You will not attend that.
Hmm.
Okay, so what it means is that the chances of you attending that is less, definitely. Okay,
Hmm.
but that's an option for end customers to book an appointment, because if you are not able to connect to a customer salesperson in live, give an option to book an appointment. Number one. Okay, number two, let's talk about from a salespeople point of view, right? uh, if there are too many appointments, if you're talking about too many appointments and all that, uh, first thing is that with appointment, without appointment, let's talk about it. So what if all these capabilities on your mobile phone, right? So each salesperson has a mobile phone and there is an app. What if the salesperson is doing their regular job, just like a WhatsApp call, they get a call in their mobile, and then they attend to that call. Okay, and what if we have an intelligent call routing, like, if I don't pick up, my colleague will pick up. If my colleague doesn't pick up, third person, fourth person, fifth person, next door, next door, next door. So it's a technology, right? The technology will have that business tools which will enable call routing from one person to another person to another person. Okay, so
Hmm.
if nothing is happening, then you just customer has to accept it. It's not that every time you will get to connected to a salesperson. No, but if
Right.
you can get connected, it's good, right? Okay. So there is a lot of elements on the customer experience and customer satisfaction and all that. But imagine, if you're as a retailer, if I'm really getting that many number of calls, why can't I invest on more people?
Hmm.
I can set up a dark store where I can set up. I will have 100 people sitting there and then take the calls. And
Right.
the dark store could be in like, in a village. I will go to a village, but I will build like a five star studio kind of an experience. Hmm? And then
Got it.
skill. I That's what I was talking about. Dark store as a service, right?
Yeah.
So dark store as a service, I will go to a village, set up this dark store, okay, with a very you understand why I'm saying village, right? Because the real
The low
estate,
cost. Yeah.
yeah, low cost. I build it, and then I upskill the people how to sell the merchandise. Then your problem is solved. If I'm really getting that many calls,
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
if the volumes are increasing, I have an answer for it. Okay. But at this stage, right now, the adaption, to your earlier point, adaption is still a little
Yeah.
smaller. Okay. It's not like a very aggressive. Hmm.
And if there are that many calls, that means the product is successful anyhow. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're ready to invest, right? Okay. If
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
more
Got it.
business is coming, why can't you invest more money?
Sure. Sure. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, I think we're good with the session, Anil. Thank you so much. We don't have any more questions coming in.
Okay.
Uh, Great.
Thank you.
So we will see you again at the end of the cohort with all the participants, their work, looking at their work submissions, and
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see you on 24th.
Thanks. Thanks, Ashish.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. We'll spread the word around about the industry.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.